As you guys saw in the last video, we did floor pan and the gas tank. Still gotta paint the gas tank and the other side of the car. But what I started on was putting the box, the fuse box for the ECU and some other wiring here. But what I ended up doing is I hammered out some of the wheel well right here, so I could fuse the fuse, so I could fit the fuse box right here. What I wanted to do originally was I wanted to extend the wiring harness from here so I can have it go inside into the cab area and mount the ECU on the passenger side. But I kind of, well, not even kind of, I didn't feel too good about cutting the wiring harness up. I'm sure I could have done it, but I just honestly didn't want to do it, just in case for some whatever reason I didn't do it right and I just trashed that whole wiring harness. Didn't want to spend, like, you know, whatever X amount of dollars to get a new wiring harness would be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount it right here. It looks nice right there. It doesn't look too bad. It looks like it fits good. Just gonna make like a spacer and a bolt right here, because you can see that it has all that space. Make a new mount right here. Probably gonna cut a hole maybe in the side of it right there, so I can have the wiring that I need coming from here and running along inside this loom, or even making a new loom on the side of it itself, and maybe probably run it through this. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that should be good. Let's get it done.
Now check it out. Now look, the apple don't fall far from trees, right? I'm in the land of milk and honey with the bees, like. And if I'm ripping it, what I'm sowing with my seeds, like. Now check it out. Mother, father, how to reach the father, I would either never bother my mother. See how my brothers.
Got the fuse box mounted up, or what was I calling it? The ECU box, whatever. I got this box mounted up. Okay, that's all you need to know. The box is mounted. So got a bolt through here, another bolt through here, holding it in two spots. I think it's gonna hold it pretty good right there. It's kind of rubbing it here, but if I can get maybe different holes or reroute the tubing, I should be fine. But I like the way it sits right now. It's looking pretty good. And it should be lower than the hood line. Yes, it is a little bit. I actually think I'm gonna have to cut the hood for this, but we'll figure it out when we get to it. So I'm gonna run the wires, or make the wires look nice at least. Solder up the wires that I need.
I was a toddler, I would teach her. Mother, father, how to reach the father, I would either never bother my mother. See how my brother's keeper. If you digging what I'm saying, we could go deeper. I dig it, I dig it, dig it, I dig it. You dig it, I dig it.
As you guys saw, I got down on the wiring, extended it, braided this one right here so it looks good. Doesn't look too crazy. And then did these two right here. These three, I'm gonna wait because I need to buy thicker gauge wire for these three. Gonna probably braid these ones right here so it looks good. Get these ones fixed up too as well. What else? I think that's it. But when I get these wirings, and I'm gonna order, so that wiring, I'm gonna also order the fuel pump. So hopefully those come in together, and then that way I can do a test fire on the engine. I've already test fired it and it does crank, and it ran a little bit, but it didn't run because I think it had a lot of vacuum leaks and stuff like that. So I'm gonna run it again with the oil and the water, and we'll see what happens. Should be good. So that'll be the next thing we do.
Yep. Is that a fuel?
Deeper. I take it, I take it, take it, I take it. You take it. I take it.
All right, we're firing up the 2J. Let's do this. Okay, fuel pump, and then the fuck is, oh, fuel pump. Then I'm gonna hit the start, and it should just start. Yeah! It started!
That was cool. So when you hit on the whatever you did, gas, I guess,
Yeah.
it sprayed a little bit of
Oil from there?
probably. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Yo, we finally got this thing started. Super hyped right now. So, I just want to come back and make a point, I guess, on all this stuff. The main thing you should remember when doing a project like this, you know, starting a car or, you know, just anything. It doesn't matter what it is, just like anything in life, I guess. Patience. Some things you need patience for, okay? That was my issue. That's what happened with me. That's why the car wasn't starting. What had happened was I plugged everything right. I plugged everything in except for one little thing. The MAF sensor. I didn't plug the MAF sensor in right. Or actually, not plug it in, but I didn't mount it right. So, if you look down in here, you see how the MAF sensor kind of has like those little fins to go through. Well, what happens is that air goes through that and it reads, you know, the mass of the air, which is the mass airflow sensor or MAF sensor. Goes through the air, reads the air, and it does all that. Well, I had put the whole thing in backwards. So it was the other end that was hitting the air. So no air was going through it to read how much air was getting into the engine to cause this thing to fire up. So, for lack of better words, or in the easiest sense, just make sure everything's right. Patience. Go through everything, quick rundown of everything before you get through it. Even if you have to do it 1-2 times, it doesn't matter. You don't want to ruin anything, especially if you put all your hard work into it. But we got it, dudes. Yeah!